The moment you decide to become exceptional, you sign a hidden contract with silence. Most people believe that self-improvement will bring them more connection, more admiration, and a wider circle of peers, but the reality is often the exact opposite. When you truly commit to the path of discipline, the first thing you will notice is not success, but a profound and unsettling isolation. The phone stops ringing. The invitations disappear. The conversations that used to entertain you now feel hollow and draining. This is not a sign that you are failing. It is the first necessary step of your ascension. Chapter 1. The Departure. In the ancient martial arts traditions of Japan, there is a concept known as Shugyo, which translates to severe or austere training. It implies that to master the way, one must leave the comfort of the village and endure the harshness of the elements alone. The samurai understood that the herd offers safety, but it also demands conformity. You cannot sharpen a blade by rubbing it against soft cotton. It requires the friction of a hard stone. In the modern world, your village is your social circle, your digital feeds, and your comfortable habits. Leaving them is painful because we are biologically wired to fear separation. Consider the story of a man named Leo. Leo was known for his charisma. He was the center of his social group, always present at every dinner, every party, and every event. But internally, Leo felt the rot of stagnation. He realized he was building nothing of value, merely maintaining his status in a circle of people who were all drifting toward mediocrity. So, he made a decision. He committed to a regimen of intense focus. He woke up early to write. He spent his evenings studying strategy. And he replaced his weekend social rituals with physical training. He expected his friends to support him, or at least to understand. Chapter 2. The Void. What happened instead was a slow, quiet excommunication. At first, there were jokes about his absence, then irritation, and finally, silence. Leo found himself sitting in his apartment on a Friday night, completely alone, staring at a wall while the rest of the world seemed to be celebrating. This is the Valley of Silence. It is the most dangerous phase of discipline because the ego screams for the validation it has lost. Leo felt a deep, aching doubt. He wondered if he was becoming a bitter recluse. He wondered if the price of his ambition was his happiness. This is where most men break. They cannot bear the weight of their own company, so they run back to the crowd, apologizing for their brief attempt at greatness. But the way of the warrior offers a different perspective on this void. Musashi, the sword saint, spent the final years of his life in a cave, not because he hated people, but because the noise of the world distracted him from the truth of the way. He wrote in the Dokodo, "Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love." This includes the lust for approval. Leo, in his isolation, began to realize that the loneliness was not a punishment, but a filter. The people who fell away were not bad people, but they were attached to the version of him that was stagnant. By changing his frequency, he had naturally stopped resonating with his old environment. Chapter 3. The Forge of Sovereignty. As Leo endured the months of solitude, a shift occurred. The silence, which once felt oppressive, began to feel spacious. Without the constant input of other people's opinions, anxieties, and dramas, his mind became razor sharp. He discovered the state of mushin, or no mind, where action and thought are one. Because he was no longer leaking energy into shallow relationships, he had an abundance of power to direct toward his craft. His work flourished, his body grew strong, his mind became a fortress that could not be breached by the chaotic emotions of the day. He realized that what he used to call loneliness was actually sovereignty. He was no longer dependent on the herd to tell him who he was. He had forged his identity in the dark, without an audience. This is the essence of the Ronin mindset. A Ronin is a masterless samurai. He walks alone not because he is lost, but because he follows an internal code that the masses cannot comprehend. Leo understood that the view from the summit is beautiful, but the summit is too narrow for a crowd. Chapter 4. The Fellowship of the Few. Eventually, Leo re-entered the world, but he did so on different terms. He did not seek to blend in, he stood apart, and a strange paradox emerged. By becoming comfortable with his aloneness, he attracted a new caliber of person. He met others who had walked their own solitary paths, men and women of high discipline and serious intent. These connections were fewer, but they were deeper. They were based on mutual respect and shared mission, not just proximity and pleasure. He had traded 100 acquaintances for 3 true allies. The lesson of the samurai is that you must be willing to die to your old life to be born into your new one. Discipline feels lonely because it is an act of separating the wheat from the chaff within your own soul. It is the process of becoming distinct. Do not fear the empty room. Do not fear the silent phone. These are the indicators that you are moving in the right direction. Embrace the solitude of the climb. It is in the quiet moments when no one is watching and no one is clapping that the warrior is truly born. Walk the path, endure the silence, and let your results speak for you.